Welcome to Chat Over Popcorn, where the conversations run deep. My name is Angela Ansa, your host for the show. Tonight, we are bringing you an inspiring conversation with a dynamic couple, Dela and Yvonne Bedzra. Dela suffered a severe traumatic brain injury, TBI, resulting from a car accident almost 10 years ago, just when he was about to finish college, which changed the trajectory of his life completely. Dela was in coma for many months and had to relearn how to walk, talk, and even eat again. Yvonne, his lovely wife, is a mental health counselor and a PhD candidate in clinical psychology who spends her life's work treating persons with depression, trauma, PTSD, and substance abuse. The couple met about 5 years ago, and it is no secret that Yvonne has been instrumental in her husband's recovery. Before we dive deeper into the couple's journey, here is what you need to know about TBI. Traumatic brain injury happens when there is a big blow to the head that messes up the brain's function. And it is the major cause of death and disability in the United States. In 2014, TBI was diagnosed in almost 300,000 hospitalizations, with motor vehicle accidents being the second leading cause of all TBI-related hospitalizations. The effects of TBI can last anywhere from a few days or the rest of a person's life. Individuals may lose their memory, ability to think, move, and may experience impairments to their vision, personality changes, and depression. TBI not only affects the individual, but have lasting effects on families and communities. Dela and Yvonne, welcome to Chat Over Popcorn. I am so excited to have you both on the platform today.
Yeah, we're glad to be here. Thank you.
Good. So we are going to start with Dela first. Dela, when this accident happened, you and I were both in college at the time, and I know you are pursuing dual degrees in business and electrical engineering. So talk to us about how life changed after the accident.
Life changed after the car accident because I had to learn how to walk, how to speak, my memories. I had no memories, so I felt like a baby at that point in time, and I saw things in a different light. So it was just different. I didn't remember any events from the past at all. So I had to, you could shake my hands 1 minute, the next minute, then I forget you. I did not remember my parents, my friends, nobody. So it was very different. I honestly can't remember the hospital I was in. It was in Pittsburgh, right? I don't remember anything from Pittsburgh. And the last time I checked, the only things I remember was NYU and Park Terrace. That's it. So.
And I got a chance to witness Dela's recovery from NYU and onto other facilities, and I can attest to what he's saying as far as his inability to do a lot of things that came very easy to him, and really remember how it took him a very long time to actually even remember who I was. And so sure. that was very devastating times to definitely watch. Let's talk about the last stage of the grieving process as far as acceptance. Have you come to terms with where you are as far as the new Dela? So there was the old Dela, then the accident happened, and you've evolved into a new person. So have you come to terms to accept who you are now versus who you were back then? Or do you find yourself wishing that the old Dela was still in the picture.
Yeah. I did. Eventually, I realized that I had a conflict between the old Dela and the new Dela. So I was going through that process, and finally I agreed that this is the new me. I have to bounce back and bounce forward. I shouldn't pay attention to the past person I was. So I had to accept that and bounce forward instead of staying stuck to the old things I did, because they're just not gonna move me forward or make me progress in any form. I will still be the same that I used to be.
Let's talk about how the accident changed your perspective around family, friends, and just life in general, you know.
The accident made me closer to my family members. In all honesty, we became more closer, and my inner circle reduced. I remember you were always there with Rixa and other people, but it's just the way I looked at things were very different. And I remember my mom was telling me that when I was in coma, the doctors told my mom and dad to unplug me. I am a vegetable. And my mom was like, just do your job as a doctor and God will take care of the rest. So that's what I remember. But I just saw everything in a clear light. So.
And how did it impact as far as your faith, your spirituality?
It really improved my spirituality with God, in all honesty. I see myself as like I'm a miracle. Like me coming back to life is a miracle. Because God just brought me back to life. No man can do that. Right. So when I got out of the hospital, I just prayed all the time. And all I knew was God. And I will be around people that talk about, oh, is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen? I'm like, I just look at it as, why are you so scared? The fear is the opposite of faith. Have faith. Have faith in God, and all is well. Because He's a faithful God. And He really cares about you. So don't have fear. So that's how my spirituality increased, and I started evangelism and everything else, and everything I did was based on God. I really got closer to God.
Would you say that you did not have the type of relationship you have with God now prior to the accident?
No, I didn't. I didn't have that type of faith in God at all. I mean, I prayed and everything, but my faith was strengthened by how God brought me back from a coma to life. That's a miracle. It strengthened my faith so much. I have so much faith in God.
When you had the accidents, you know, when individuals go through traumatic brain injury, it's just like a loss, right? You go through the grieving process, you know, you are in denial, then you go through the anger phase, you go through depression, you go through all these 5 stages, which I know your wife is going to talk more about because she's a, you know, mental health counselor and the experts on those matters. But let's talk about how you went through, what the depression process was like, and how you were able to bounce back or bounce forward to today.
Well, it got to a time I was going through the phase of depression. My parents, or there's food at home. I used to take like 30 plus pills, and it came down to less than that. I did not care about the world no more. I would just go outside, hang out, just take my pills, not eat anything, just drink water. Um, I was not worried at all. I wasn't worrying about dying. I just did not have no feelings for the world. It was more like me against the world, and I did not have no care in the world what happens to me. But at the same token, I used to pray to God that He should bless me with somebody that will give me a reason to live, a good reason to still stay on this earth. I prayed every morning, like even when I was walking, I was always praying, and so yeah, so I went on Facebook. This is how I met her. I was still God fearing at that time because God brought me back from coma, and then I sent the scripture to her, and then I said, this is my name. I'd like to get to know you more, and and everything changed. Um, she gave me details about what I'm going through. It wasn't as we are in the relationship. I know the doctors told me of it back then and my therapist, but she knew exactly what I was going through. And hearing it from we were just friends. We just started talking. Hearing it from her, it was, it was, it was real. She gave me a reason to still stay on this earth. She broke everything down to the T. I was like, whoa, whoa, it makes sense. Oh, that's why I did that. Oh, that's the truth. I said, where did you learn that? She said she was a counselor. I said, what kind of, I took psychology 101. Does that make me a counselor? He said, no, that doesn't make you a counselor. You gotta you have to major in it and have a concentration. So she broke everything I was going through down to the T to me. And that's when I started realizing that this is a reason. God heard my prayers and sent my queen. I call her my sunshine because I was living in darkness. I didn't care. She brought the light to me and made me understand that God put you on earth for a reason. So God sent me your way to explain what you're going through.
Wow, Dela, that is so beautiful to hear how Yvonne pretty much gave you new meaning to life and gave you a reason to live and hopefully manifest God's purpose for your life. As far as your dreams and goals and aspirations for life, as I mentioned earlier, I remember you were pursuing both business and electrical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
The accident happened, I think, just maybe a semester before we graduated.
Yes.
What have you been up to as far as, you know, going back to get your degree or finding new passions, exploring new adventures? Talk to us about just what life is like now.
I'm still in the healing process. I'm not mentally ready to go back to school and finish my degree. However, you know, I used to do design shirts from high school until college. I'm still gonna, the name of my business is One Tribe. So it's to just have this connection between different people to inspire us togetherness. So yeah, I'm still gonna put in the work for One Tribe and make pens and different bags and just to get us together as a whole. So that's one thing I am gonna do: bring One Tribe to the front line and do other things and just build more businesses. So,
Yvonne, when you first met Dela just described how you guys met. He Facebook messaged you. So let's talk about from the time you got this message from Dela to getting to know him and dealing with just the emotional ordeal of what he had gone through to where you guys are now.
Okay. You know, when Dela sent me the message, I was in a state in my life that I was like done with relationships, and because I had been on so many of these dates, and so I was just in a stage in my life where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to travel the world and just, you know, do my business and, you know, move on. And when he sent that message, it shocked me. First of all, because I was like, why are you sending a message on Facebook? That's number one. Number two, he was younger than I was.
She said, "Who's this little boy?"
And so, yeah, so, you know, that was the other thing. However, we started to chat, you know, on the phone and, you know, do FaceTime. And we did that for about 3 months. Just being friends and just talking. And during that time, he shared his story with me. I knew something was there. As a counselor, you pick up on things. However, when he told me his story, I was moved by it. Yet I knew that he still needed a lot of help. And so, you know, from there, you know, we just, you know, just being friends was just the thing right then. It was nothing else but just being friends and a friend helping a friend with what he was doing.
So Dela, why did you choose to message Yvonne? Did you know Yvonne prior in past life? Like, how did that happen?
No. See, I pray to God. I prayed to God plenty times. So I looked at it as I knew God will answer my prayer because I had a lot of faith in Him. And so when I saw her picture, I saw the light behind her eyes, and she didn't even know I was gonna pursue her. She thought, "This little boy, why are you sending me these messages?" I said, "You're gonna be mine one day."
And I said, "No, I am not."
Okay. Look at you now.
I guess that was a lie.
That was a lie. So I knew I was gonna pursue her, and she's gonna help. We're gonna help each other out to balance each other out. So we just used to read the Word of God, just talk a lot, just getting to know each other, and gradually, yeah, we're married now.
How beautiful. How beautiful. So Yvonne, you are pursuing your PhD in clinical psychology. You're a mental health counselor. Let's talk about how your expertise in mental health counseling really played a huge role in Dela's recovery.
Being a friend to help a friend, I noticed that he was going through depression. So we know that depression can come in many forms. And in talking with him, he wasn't eating. He wasn't really taking care of himself. You know, those different aspects that showed me that when he made decisions, they were just, you know, decisions just off the cuff, you know, decisions that weren't good for him, that may have caused him harm to himself. So to tackle the depression first, before you even think about traumatic brain injury, TBI, is to look at the depression and how he is dealing with himself. And in doing that, having many conversations with him and having him to express himself freely the way he wanted to express himself. You know, dealing with many clients that I've dealt with in the past, I know that everybody has a story.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you allow someone to speak on their story, it helps them heal because they're able to bring it out. And even if it's in anger, because sometimes it can be, even if they cry, even if, whatever emotion it is, it's their story. And so for Dela, that's what I allowed him to do. And in doing that, he's seeing himself. You know how you just see yourself in the mirror, like, oh, that's me. That's what's going on with me. And then I was able to tell him or help him with TBI. And it was more of an education, like educating him on what TBI is and what part of the brain it, impacted, and why you think the way you do, why your memories are the way they are, things of that nature. So that's kind of how, I help him in that.
So people who suffer TBI,
yes,
not only do they have some memory loss, but as far as regulating their own emotions, they tend to struggle with that. So let's talk about just, dating is hard, right? Marriage is hard. And to compound that with a condition as severe as TBI, where the individual may say something and not even mean it, or may say something or react, or like you said, make a decision and not even think through the consequences, or may say something that could hurt you. Let's talk about how you were able to help Dela manage those emotions. And ultimately, what about Dela made you fall in love with him?
Well, first, the thing about Dela, when I talk about falling in love with him, is because he never put on any airs. He was just himself. And he showed up with all the things that was wrong with him and all the things that was right with him. And he was like, this is me. So it was ultimately up to me to say, hey, do I want to take on those things? That's number one. Emotions for Dela, he would say certain things, do certain things. His memory, like he'll get certain memories, some things will go out. And so what I try to do is, even if we got into an argument, because yes, couples do argue, I would say, stop and think about what you're saying. Yeah. What are you saying? Because a lot of times he's in his head thinking, and he's thinking that he said certain things, but it's still in his head. So I think that people fail to realize what TBI is this. Memories. You know how we have memories and we can kind of remember like back to back to back to back for people that maybe, the brain is not compromised. For people who have TBI, it's like confetti thrown up in the air and it's just everywhere. So you might think this, might think this, might think this. Oh no, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna think about this. No, I'm going. So it was like all over the place. Now he can stop himself and say, I'm changing subjects now, which is beautiful because he recognized that he was trying to jump from subject to subject. So, it's a process.
Dela, would you say that your memory is completely back now, or you still have some days, moments where maybe you may have long-term memory, short-term? Let's talk about just where you are as far as your memory-wise.
I thank God for this. But lately, as I get closer to God, more of my memories from when I was a baby, the things I did and all that are coming back. So now I'm getting more of the memories back. It's not all the way fully there, but it's more memories are coming back to me little by little. So that's a great thing.
What about short-term memories? Do they stay, or do you have days where what happened maybe yesterday you may not remember?
Yeah, they're on point.
Yeah.
I thank God.
So it's a long-term memory that you are kind of getting back gradually. Yeah. TBI takes a long time as far as the recovery, because this happened to you, what, 10 years ago, and you are still not fully there yet. So Yvonne, back to you, you know, as someone who, a loved one, a caretaker, someone who is married to an individual who had suffered TBI, and in Dela's case, you know, 10 years ago, so he's actually come a longer way. But 5 years ago, you were in his life, you were not married then, but you started to talk about maybe even when you guys were having arguments, you have to let him know where he is, regroup, and then kind of be mindful of what is it that you are truly saying, that you understand what is it that you are saying. Let's talk about just individuals who take care or are married to, or just, you know, loved ones who know someone that have suffered TBI. What do you as an individual need to be mindful of? What do you need to do to take care of you so you can then take care of your loved one?
I would say to that individual, don't take it personal, because a lot of times they're struggling themselves. For me, however, and I can only speak for myself, I do a lot of self-care. I believe in self-care. I take trips. I, you know, listen to live bands. I go for a walk. I love the beach, love the water. Group, you know, when you find groups that your family members that deal with people that have TBI, there are groups out there that will help that family member understand, you know, so that you're not alone in this struggle that you have. I think all those aspects are good for someone that's taking care of someone with TBI, and that is not your fault. You know, sometimes people blame themselves. You know, or they get, like I said, they get angry at the person. You can't do that. Go to counseling. Counseling, of course, you know, I do that all day, all the time. And counseling is not something that you should be afraid of, because a lot of times people are afraid of, you know, going to counseling. And sometimes in people's culture, if they're not used to, you know, going to counseling and telling people their business, as they say. But counseling is going to help you put things in perspective. That counseling is a time for a safe space for that person to be able to talk about those things that's going on. I would tell that person that, you know, help their families to understand how they're feeling and what they're going through. And I think it's very, very, very important. So with, you know, family members, it's important for them to be educated about what TBI is. Because sometimes, you know, you have family members that don't know, and they make these, you know, accusations, or he's not trying, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, when the person is, I'm really trying. So it is important to do that. If you have a family, sometimes family counseling is important. You know, you're bringing the family together so everybody can be heard, everybody can understand. Giving the person that has TBI a chance to talk to everybody without somebody overshadowing. Because a lot of times people with TBI, you know, their thought patterns, it really, you may say something to them, but they're still in the first word you said.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so it's important to slow down. Sometimes family members have to slow down. So so many aspects, and I would say that patience is good. You know, patience is the number one thing. Things are not going to happen overnight. Nothing does. Nothing does. And take your time, you know. And family members just, you know, need to have that self-care. They need to make sure that they are getting the things they need so they can show up fresh every time. I wouldn't, you know, show up fresh every time for Dela if I am not getting what I need. So sometimes I break away and I meditate, or I do certain things to help myself so that I can show up for him.
And Dela, are you in any type of support group? Did you ever participated in any support group that helped you? I know you talked a lot about your faith in God, but as far as just other resources in the community, did you tap in any resources that was beneficial for your recovery as well?
Well, I'm part of this group for traumatic brain injury. It's called Denby House. So I go there every Tuesday. To help you communicate, help you get back into school, and if you need help with anything, they'll help you with it. Most of the people in that group are disabled, have been through traumatic events. So when I went there the other day, I met all of them. Some couldn't talk, there's different disabilities. So that's my support system.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
then we have,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. So it's every Tuesday. Is it mainly guys, or is it both men and women? Is it a hybrid?
It's just different people, different colors. It's just different people.
Yeah.
Men, women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a couple, you are not the conventional couple, right? As a couple, are there any stigma or societal challenges that you both have to overcome, that you are faced with on a daily basis?
Yes, I'm gonna answer that one.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. Initially, people were very against us being together simply because of age. Typically you have older men that marry younger women, and it's okay in society. But when you have an older woman and a younger man, then they're like, oh my God, you trying to take advantage of him. And then, on my side, they're like, oh, well, he trying to get your money. So it was just like, it was just all this craziness. And we're looking like, well, we just love each other. So why are we even doing this, Then culture, me being American, and of course, Dela being from Ghana, there is a lot of cultural differences. But that is something that we really kind of embrace and learn from each other. We talk about each other's life when we're growing up, and come to find out, it's a lot of things were the same.
Yep.
Really, So those things. I don't know if Dela has anything to say about that.
From the start in my mind after the car accident, I always knew this. Age is just a number. You could be 100 years old and speak like a baby. That means you're not mentally mature. And my thing is, if you're from a different culture, that's a chance for me to get to know your culture, and you get to know my culture. In other words, I really don't pay attention to people's opinion about the life I live. Stay in your lane, and there'll be no traffic.
That is right. That is.
How did I react when people used to say you older than me? Did I say something? No, I don't have to ask permission or your permission for me to make my own decisions. How about you pay attention to your own decisions?
And that's that.
And that's that. I love it. Yes, love, age is nothing but a number, and love knows no age or culture. As a marriage couple, how you guys continuously show up for each other and just keep your marriage strong, especially since you are faced with all of these societal stigmas and things that really should be nobody's business, quite frankly.
Wow. God. We just put God first.
Yep.
The second thing is communication.
Communication is key.
We talk, and we talk about the things that are that's bothering us, the things that we see, because I think it's important to lay those things out on the table. And we never go to bed mad.
Nope.
If it's something that we have to say, we make sure that we talk about it before we lay our head down on the pillow, so that you can sleep in peace.
That's it. Because you can't go to sleep and you are arguing or fussing, and then you're not going to sleep properly because you still have that in your head. Oh, what is she going to do? What are we going to do tomorrow? So you have to put the things that you argue about, you need to talk about it before and bring it to peace before you lay to bed and cuddle. That's it.
Right. So Yvonne, tell us a little bit about just what you are up to and, how people can find you and all the work that you are doing in the community.
Well, in the state of Virginia, I'm a resident in counseling and mental health. I'm also a certified life coach. So I have a business called Nove Coaching and Consulting that I'm starting, and I started through this pandemic, and I'm excited about it. I also have a nonprofit organization called Melody Chat with You, and it deals with minority women and the day-to-day activities and the day-to-day things that minority women go through. And then I have I would say a kind of like a blog, a YouTube channel that I've started called Soulful Chats with Yvonne. And so just for people to just talk one-on-one about anything that, that's going on with them. So I've always been an advocate of helping people, been doing mental health for 18 years, started out as case management, and then just moving my way up. And now, I'm a doctoral student in psychology with a concentration in counseling psychology. I love what I do, and I love helping people. So I'd be glad to come and talk.
Thank you so much for sharing that piece of advice and wisdom with our viewers. I am hoping that your story, Dela's story, can help somebody out there who is watching us, be able to bounce forward from wherever they are in, particularly if they themselves have suffered TBI or know someone who have suffered TBI. Dela's story is that of a successful, triumphant story where he has been able to pull out of depression, has been able to rehabilitate himself, and ultimately have found the greatest love in you, Yvonne. And clearly you bring much sunshine to his life and, have been a huge instrument in helping him get to where he is. So again, Dela and Yvonne, thank you so much for trusting me to share your story. I know many years ago, Dela, I had shared with you that I hope one day you get the stage and the platform to share your incredible story and your incredible journey. And I thank you for trusting me to be the one to do that. I cannot wait to see just the difference and the impact your story would mean for many viewers. Again, thank you, and I hope I can have future conversations with you guys on other topics, but particularly with you, Yvonne, on more of mental health issues. So thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode. To continue with the conversation, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell or notification button to be notified every time new videos get uploaded. Also, click thumbs up to like the video and follow our Instagram and Facebook pages to catch up on all the conversations.